thousands of new jobs thanks to a major overhaul on a historic hotel casino. The opportunities for work it promises right now, and why it's just a taste of the jobs it'll help create long after the project is finished.
Firefighters saving more and more people.
We have some of the best fire responses in terms of removing people from burning buildings.
Why rescuers say one simple report could threaten their future ability to save lives.
'Tis the season for travel. The dangers lurking as you hit the road this holiday season, plus why actually making it out of town will be a little easier.
Now, breaking news from Channel 8 News Now.
And we'll get to those stories in just a minute. First, we want to tell you about a deadly accident that happened in just the last hour in the southwest part of the valley.
Metro police tell us that a woman ran over a man she knew, and he died of his injuries. We do not know if it was an accident or intentional. This all happened on Mammoth Creek Drive. That's near Trop and Buffalo.
And we have a crew on the way. We'll update you if and when we get any more information on it.
And Las Vegas is slowly digging itself out of the recession.
And today we found out that the number of people out of a job has dropped to the lowest level since May of 2009. Now, here in Las Vegas, the unemployment rate is 11.1%. That translates to a little under 110,000 locals who don't have a job. And while that's nowhere near the lower levels before the economic crash, there are a few new projects promising thousands of new jobs. Crews are under the gun to convert a once historic hotel into an entertainment destination downtown. And reporter Joe Bartels has a look at that progress.
The Lady Luck was once a thriving hotel, but her luck ran out in 2007 when she was forced to close. Since then, her towers have sat shuttered, an ominous reminder of better times.
Las Vegas is known for its very large integrated resorts, the fantasy of the Strip, which is a wonderful experience. But we've had an opportunity to create something that complements that experience.
Seth Shore with Fifth Street Gaming says there is new life in this old hotel. They plan to turn it into a job-making machine.
We've created a neighborhood. So where the Lady Luck was 2 towers and a casino, we've taken over the street and created bars and restaurants at downtown 3rd, even allowing us to have outdoor gaming on the street.
The idea for the project started 2 years ago. Now crews are tearing down and building new from the ground up.
While the skeleton was good, when you come and stay at the Downtown Grand Hotel and Casino, it is a brand new casino.
While the plans are still on paper, the completed project should look something like this: a hip urban casino and hotel in the heart of downtown.
I think it's capturing part of the old magic of downtown, but it's also really thinking forward.
If construction stays on schedule, the hotel should open sometime next year. 1,000 construction jobs have been created, and more than 3,000 will be added to staff the hotel. Joe Bartels, 8 News Now.
When it's completed, there will be 650 hotel rooms, a 30,000 square foot casino, and lots of places to eat. Tomorrow, Fifth Street Gaming will hold a celebration for the project. The mayor and others are expected to be there. The Downtown Grand will also be the anchor of a new entertainment area called Downtown 3rd, which will mean even more new jobs in the future. Downtown Las Vegas isn't the only place with blossoming businesses. On the west side, near Summerlin, business at Tivoli Village is finally picking up again. Coming up in the second half of the show, we'll show you the new jobs moving in and why it took so long for Tivoli to find its economic footing.
The Las Vegas Firefighters Union is warning that future cuts to the department could cost lives. They're worried about a new report that could recommend big changes.
The tragic reality firefighters must face is that despite their courage and professionalism, most people die in fires before we are called.
That's part of a new ad campaign put on by the Las Vegas Firefighters Union. They say that audio is from a consultant with an organization called the International City-County Management Association. The ICMA is working on a report to help the city manage the department. The Firefighters Union fears the ICMA will recommend cuts to services as they have reportedly done in several other cities.
But if we don't have enough people to safely be able to enter a burning building to search for victims and remove people, then you can simply say that more people truly are going to die.
Firefighters say they have been able to save many lives recently, including 3 children who were revived after an apartment fire in February. They say heart attack survival rates in Las Vegas are among the best in the country. The city declined to comment on the union's concerns. Officials point out the entire ICMA report has not been released yet, and they say the person quoted in the ad is not part of the 11-member team putting together the recommendations. Another group is supporting a change to the way Metro officers handle life or death situations. The police union wants Metro officials to take some cues from another major metropolitan area when it comes to investigating officer-involved shootings. The Police Protective Association responded to last week's landmark report from the Department of Justice, suggesting 75 changes to Metro's use of deadly force policies. Union reps say they agree with at least 90% of the report, including the important finding that when too many officers are on a crime scene, there are more likely to be tactical errors or deaths. The union says there are often too few supervisors on the ground during those situations.
Currently, you have 4 or 5 officers who arrive on a scene, and if you don't understand the civil service rules, you really don't know who's in charge, because it comes down to where you were on the hiring list, what your P number is, and a plethora of other things.
One union rep says adding a rank between officer and sergeant, as the LA Police Department does, would help put more supervisors on the scene of dangerous situations.
Metro Police say they've finally found the man responsible in an 8-month-old murder. 20-year-old Akeem Tripp is currently in the Clark County Detention Center, charged with the death of Philip Hooks. Police were called out to the Universe at Sunrise Mountain Apartments near Stewart and Nellis back in March. The victim was the ex-boyfriend of Tripp's girlfriend. Police documents say they interviewed him after the murder, but they finally got a break when one of Tripp's neighbors came forward. That neighbor told police that Tripp had confessed to the crime, saying he and the victim argued right beforehand. Tripp was arrested yesterday, and his first court appearance is scheduled for tomorrow. And police are investigating another new murder that happened at an apartment complex on Trop near Jones. Officers arrived on the scene around 10:30 Saturday night and found a man with a gunshot wound. He was taken to UMC, where he was later pronounced dead. Metro says they have a person of interest in custody, but so far no charges have been filed.
Nevada's largest lenders are shelling out tens of millions of dollars to homeowners who need a little help. But time may be running out if your home is underwater, but you haven't yet applied for any assistance. The I-Team's Nathan Baca shows us why banks may nearly be off the hook.
Our Mortgage Investigation Alliance.
Remember that massive multi-state settlement the government reached with banks over fraud closures? Just a few months in, and much of the promised help for underwater Nevadans is nearly running out. Attorney General Catherine Cortez Masto says she's still reviewing the latest numbers. In an interview with the I-Team this September, she optimistically said,
"It's promising, and I think in November, when we get the next set of data that we all are looking for, I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised with what we see."
But looking deeper at the latest numbers, we found problems. Major banks were required to provide $20 billion in home loan help nationwide. The banks are now taking credit for pitching in $26 billion to help. But the majority of that help is through short sales, not refinancing or loan forgiveness. The prime question, can Nevadans still get help?
Very little chance. There's no incentive anymore.
Foreclosure attorney Dirk Ravenholt believes the settlement help from banks missed the target.
I think the settlement was targeting people that are unemployed in our community, and we had zero forbearance for unemployed.
National Mortgage Settlement Oversight Chair Joseph Smith makes the final call on whether banks are obligated to help more homeowners.
The banks will only receive credit for consumer relief under the settlement when I have determined that they have completed their work. We're not there yet.
Nevada's largest lender, Bank of America, tells the I-Team they are satisfied with the progress they're making under the terms of the settlement. The bank adds they expect to wrap up their obligation to help by next spring. They still want their customers to apply, but you'd better hurry. That mortgage help is quickly running out. Nathan Baca, 8 News Now.
We do want you to know that the mortgage help is not dried up yet. We have several resources on our website. Just head to 8newsnow.com and type in the keyword mortgage.
Well, the Thanksgiving holiday is upon us, and that means tens of thousands of Nevadans will hit the road to visit relatives or head out of town. Also means heavier traffic in and around the Las Vegas Valley. Former NHP officer and current driving instructor Tammy Martini says more cars can lead to more aggressive drivers and opportunities for road rage. But there are ways you can spot unsafe drivers and keep a cool head.
So just take your time, get there safely. It's a holiday and you want to make sure you spend it with your family.
Martini says while she was with NHP, hundreds of crashes caused by road rage happened each year, and one of the biggest reasons behind deadly crashes was speed. Getting where you need to go is going to be a little less expensive, and that's because the average gas price in Las Vegas is now $3.58 a gallon. We spotted drivers lining up at the Costco in Henderson where gas was $3.42 a gallon, but even though prices have been dropping this past month, they're still pretty high when compared to the prices around Thanksgiving in years past.
You may want to wait before shelling out some major bucks to hoard ho-hos and Twinkies. Hostess's plan to shut down operations and liquidate is now on hold. The company agreed to sit down once again with its bakers union after asking a bankruptcy judge to approve its plans to shut down. Hostess has been fighting financial problems for a while now and blames the recent workers' strike for the shutdown. Mediation talks, though, now should start tomorrow. No word yet on how this will affect the 159 workers at the Henderson factory. While Twinkie lovers wait to find out if the treats will be back on store shelves, people with surplus stocks of cupcakes, zingers, and fruit pies are trying to make money on eBay. Tonight, there are still hundreds of listings for Hostess products. Some boxes are going for $30. The Las Vegas monorail is finally out of bankruptcy. The monorail went into Chapter 11 protection in early 2010 to reorganize its hundreds of millions of dollars in debt. In a statement, the monorail's chief executive says he is encouraged by the end of the bankruptcy and looks forward to carrying, quote, many millions more passengers. The monorail has carried 50 million passengers since its beginning, but ridership is still down 19% from last year.
A shopping center with a rough start is ready to add more jobs. The temporary businesses giving Tivoli Village a boost and how their success will translate into putting people to work permanently. Plus the one item that'll cost more to prepare for this year's Thanksgiving feast.
You're watching 8 News Now at 11 with Paula Francis and Dave Cavassier. The news for Southern Nevada is now.
A shopping center that struggled to even open is now attracting more new businesses. Tivoli Village was originally supposed to open in the fall of 2009, but because of the economic bust, the project really wasn't finished until last year. Now, Petronja Poonsawan shows us how the Tivoli Village is helping to boost our local jobs numbers.
From a trendy new marketplace to a luxury car showroom, Tivoli Village is hitting a growth spurt nearly 2 years since its opening day.
By December 1, we're going to have about 9 new places opening. All of our storefronts that were built out and ready for lease are filled for the holidays.
Can we have more salsa? Among the new faces are new restaurants like Cantina Laredo, which hired 140 workers for its grand opening just last week.
Oh, this is amazing. We've been waiting for something like this.
There's enough money to keep this place going, that's for sure.
But deep wallets can't always keep people employed and businesses open. Petra Greek Taverna shut down in October and the Doghouse left earlier this year. But new ventures are already staking their claim at now vacant retail spaces.
And so-called pop-up businesses are also helping to fill empty storefronts here at Tivoli. The owners of Utica Home and Bungalow say they do well here. This temporary business setup could turn into a long-term lease.
And the holidays are a great time to really test it out and see how people react to it. So we're excited.
Our tenants are excited, and we're really excited to move forward with Las Vegas.
About 1,000 people are now employed at Tivoli Village. The goal now, more tenants and more patrons to give this outdoor shopping center more opportunities to grow. Petronja Poonsawan, 8 News Now.
And when Tivoli Village opened in April of last year, it had about 17 businesses. Now they have more than 40 retailers, restaurants, and offices.
Nice weather for shopping.
Lots of stories on shopping, yes. We're getting ready for Black Friday. sunny on Friday. And obviously, we have Thanksgiving on Thursday, and the forecast really, really nice. I mean, a lot of people are going to be jealous once again. You take a look at the 70 forecast. All right, outside tonight, it is absolutely beautiful. We had a lot of clouds for a good 4 or 5 days in a row, and then high pressure built in this weekend. We've cleared out the clouds, at least for right now. We're getting ready for highs in the upper 60s and lower 70s. We're looking at temperatures about 5 to 7 degrees above normal for the entire week. So the forecast looks very, very nice. And a lot of you are probably going to travel too. We'll take a look at the travel forecast here in a few seconds. So outside tonight, we're currently at 56 degrees out at the airport. You got a wind out of the southwest at 6 miles per hour. There's lots of 50s out there. Lake Mead 57, East Washington, East Flamingo lower 50s, Fort Apache you're at 53, down toward the south there. Again, by tomorrow morning as you wake up, temperatures kind of hovering in the mid to upper 40s for most neighborhoods. You can see Tonopah you're at 35, Pioche at 34, so it's a lot cooler outside the valley. Mount Charleston below the freezing mark at 30, Laughlin at 57, out towards Beatty you're in the lower 40s, and then down towards Primm the current temperature at 46 degrees. So again, that normal high is only now 65 degrees, and there's that high today, a little bit warmer than normal. The forecast high today was 69, and we hit that number. You can see tomorrow morning as you wake up, sunrise will occur at 6:22, and again tomorrow the sunset will occur right around 4:30. So there's the situation. We had a lot of clouds this morning, but they really began to kind of dissipate as the day kind of moved along. The jet stream is positioned all the way up towards the north, so all these systems here are heading up towards Seattle, Portland, north of San Francisco. So if you have travel plans anywhere up towards the Pacific Northwest over the next several days, that's where all the wet weather will be. We'll be nice and dry here with high pressure in control. So you take a look at this model here, and you can see up towards San Francisco, Reno seeing some rain, all the way up towards Portland and Seattle. That's where all the rain will be here over the next several days. So we're getting ready for Thursday for Thanksgiving. Forecast looks very nice for a good portion of the country. Wet along the west coast, mild here, mild up towards the northern plains, up towards the Midwest, warm down toward the south if you're heading down towards Texas or along the south there. And again, nice and dry along the east coast. That's very much needed for them, and it will be cool for Thanksgiving. Highs only in the upper 50s, but the good news there is it will be nice and dry. Tomorrow as you wake up, mid to upper 40s, a lot of sunshine. By noontime up to 65, forecasting a high of 70 tomorrow. That's 5 degrees above normal. Look at this 7-day, 72 on Wednesday. For Tinker Day, a high of 71. Black Friday, by the way, on Friday, the ski resort opens with a high of 71 degrees, still in the 70s on Saturday and Sunday, and then a little bit cooler Monday of next week as a front will kind of move through the area. But who cares about that for right now? Look at that forecast. We're talking about 70s as we head towards Turkey Day. Dave and Paula, back to you guys.
Police are on the scene of a deadly incident in which a woman ran over a man.
Joe Bartel's here now with the latest live. Joe.
Yeah, investigators are just starting to piece together exactly what happened. I'll step out of the way and get you a look at the scene here. A lot of police activity within the last few minutes. We just saw the crime scene investigating unit arrive here. This is in the 4300 block of Mammoth Creek Drive. Here's what we know. Just before 10, police received a report that a woman had run over her boyfriend. Police got here a short time later and found the man dead, and that's essentially what police are dealing with right now. They're exactly trying to figure out if this was an intentional, if this was an accident. Still a lot of investigating needs to go on out here, but this neighborhood here is essentially shut down. You can see police are standing here keeping a perimeter. So as soon as we get some more information, we'll pass it along to you. But for right now, reporting live, Joe Bartels, 8 News Now.
Thank you, Joe. This year's Thanksgiving dinner will not be noticeably more costly than last year's, except for one particular item. The average Thanksgiving dinner for 10 people will cost about $49.48. That's up just 28 cents. The turkey itself, though, went up 3%.
Turkey competes with chicken and pork and beef and other products. Turkey production itself is actually a little higher this year, so it's not an issue of turkey not being available. It's just that meat prices overall have gone up.
By the way, the biggest drop in price was for whipping cream, stuffing, and sweet potatoes.
Well, before we go, we wanted to let you know about a few things that are happening tomorrow around town. Like we mentioned earlier, the Downtown Grand is celebrating the progress it has made so far. A consumer group will also be releasing its annual list of dangerous toys. A Trouble in Toyland report will detail which toys pose a safety hazard this holiday season. Also tomorrow, we'll help you answer your questions about Alzheimer's. We have experts from the Cleveland Clinic Ruvo Center from 4 to 6:30 p.m.
And now that does it for 8 News Now at 11.
We turn it over to Chris Matthews for Sports Monday.
All right, thank you very much. Coming up on Sports Monday, boy, this is a great time of the year for sports fans, football, hoops, and much more. We'll show you how Las Vegas Shabazz Muhammad's college debut went as he took the floor for the first time. And our star of tomorrow, big kid, playing in Nevada's biggest stage on the prep level. That and more next on Sports Monday.
8 News Now Sports is brought to you by your Southern Nevada Nissan dealers. From Channel 8 News Now. Sports with Chris Matthews.
All right, and let's start in the NFL, where it was a battle of the backups. The Bears and Niners both going with backup quarterbacks. Niners Colin Kaepernick played like a starter. In fact, who knows? He may become the starter after tonight's terrific show. Kendall Hunter here would score in a 14-yard touchdown run. Makes it 17-0. Kaepernick threw for 243 yards, a pair of touchdowns, and the Niners blast the Bears 32-7. Big word in conference movement again today. Maryland bolts from the ACC to join the Big Ten starting in 2014. The financial gains just too big to turn down. They'd been with the ACC as a charter member since 1954. Rutgers is expected to follow tomorrow. Big Ten moves into the D.C. and New York City markets. How about the Runnin' Rebels expected off to that easy 2-0 start? Nobody was really surprised there. They finished off Northern Arizona first, and then, of course, on Saturday, ripped Jacksonville State. 2 easy wins. In the latest AP poll, you can see the top 5 here. How about UNLV staying at number 18, San Diego State checking in at number 25. And speaking of those Aztecs, this is what Steve Fisher's saying about the Rebels, Aztecs, and that rivalry that's developed.
Every game has been so tremendously competitive and gone down to the wire, and lots to do in Vegas, but for about a 2.5-hour period, there's nothing to do other than be in the Thomas and Mack and watch the Aztecs do battle with the Rebels, and it's turned into a terrific series with 2 really good teams that want to beat one another to death when they play, but have great respect for one another before and after the game.
All right, certainly. Hey, your next chance to see the Rebels coming up on Friday. They've got a pair of holiday weekend games. UNLV plays Oregon at 6 o'clock at the MAC. Not that usual 7 o'clock tip, so remember it's at 6. Then on Saturday, they'll play either at 5 or 7:30. They'll play either Iowa State or 22nd ranked Cincinnati. Nationally ranked UCLA on the road. Shabazz Muhammad finally slipped into a jersey today to play in a game the NCAA cleared the Las Vegan last week. He didn't start, but soon came in. This is his first jump shot as a Bruin, and that goes. Then Shabazz Muhammad inside for the dunk here. He would score 15 points in the game, but they needed more. Georgetown heats up from the outside. They knock off the 11th ranked Bruins. 78-70 was the final score. Still ahead on Sports Monday, the UNLV football team isn't loaded with seniors, but those who've stuck around, you kind of feel sorry for him. How about another senior? Not yet. He's just underclassman, but going to be a big star for the Gorman Gales as a senior. Our star of tomorrow next on Sports Monday.
Did one man hurt our whole adoption system?
Is the conclusion that he wasn't doing his job?
Now foster kids are stuck waiting for a home.
I can't imagine a world in which a child did not have that.
But in search for a solution, a bigger problem is revealed.
We could do more than we did, no doubt about it.
The I-Team's Colleen McCarty investigates the harm the backlog can have on a child's life.
Children will not languish. They will not sit in our system.
And one judge's efforts to clean up the family court tomorrow at 11.
You have the entire internet at your fingertips.
But who has the time to search through it all? Well, our goal is to make it easy.
On 8 News Now at 5,
we gather the top stories of the day
with experience
and speed and accuracy so you can save time.
8 News Now at 5.
And welcome back to Sports Monday. The UNLV football team travels to Hawaii this week and to close out a disappointing season. Biggest disappointment has got to be with those seniors who've never won a road game while at UNLV.
I've never had a road win since I've been here, and I think it would be fantastic for the football players, sending them on a great note next year.
See what happens. Kickoff 8 o'clock. Hey, the Bishop Gorman football team is loaded with talent. Lots of guys will be playing college ball next year. But perhaps the most talented of all the Gales is only a junior. Scott Bemis has more on this week's Star of Tomorrow.
Nate Starks has the look of someone a lot older.
Costco, for example, and they're like, if I want like wine,
like samples or anything. No, I'm not old enough yet.
He's only 17, although physically he could already pass for a big-time college running back.
He's a physical specimen. I mean, he's been blessed. You know, the good Lord's given him some gifts that sure make him a good football player.
Like 6'1" height and a 215-pound frame, throwing 4.4 speed, and it's no wonder this kid's outrun and barreled his way to nearly 11 yards per carry and 25 touchdowns this year.
More fun to outrun somebody or to bowl somebody over?
You know, I like to do either one.
Starks reminds many of another Gorman product who's gone on to NFL stardom, DeMarco Murray.
91 yards for the score.
Murray had some advice for Nate when the two met this summer.
He just said, you know, keep working, stay humble, and always just be the best guy on the field.
I mean, I think Nate's a guy who has an opportunity to kind of be on that same line.
Murray played his college ball at Oklahoma, and the Sooners, along with USC, Notre Dame, and Texas, are leading the pack when it comes to his recruitment.
Guys on 3, 1, 2, 3.
For now, this high school junior is just thinking about getting 2 more wins and the school's 4th straight state title.
A 4-peat is the goal. You know, nobody's ever done it before here, so you know it's definitely a goal.
A goal made much more likely with Nate Starks in the backfield. Scott Bemis, 8 Sports Now.
All right, thank you, Scott. That is our show. Thanks for watching. Hey, if you're a golfer, we got a great story for you coming up tomorrow at 6. David Letterman's up next. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Good night, everybody.